What is up, everyone? Sean here, Murray and J08. Welcome back. This is my holiday special edition of, that's right, it's that time again. It is a new episode of Questions for the Goof, special holiday edition. I do this once every so many months. I take my time and I build up a lot of the subscribers' questions, and when I have enough that I think that are decent, I do an episode. And it's a chance for you guys to interact with me. That's right. I'm not like one of these, YouTubers that doesn't answer people's tweets because I don't think you're good enough. You got to be famous, or, I mean, look at me. I'm a small-time YouTuber. But even if I was huge, I would still take the time and answer people's questions. Some of these idiots don't. It's a shame, really. I mean, these are the people that make them who they are. So I like to give back. I like to give back to what I do have, And I like to talk to the subscribers, and I like to give them their questions, and give them their answers to their questions, and really take the time and be grateful of what I have. Even though I don't have thousands of subscribers and millions of views, it doesn't matter to me. Even if I did, I'd still be doing this. And I like to support what I do have, and it's my chance to interact with them, especially during the holidays and all. My channel's been extremely busy. There's a lot more even coming. So this is your chance. This is your time to shine. And I got some good ones this time. Now, because this is my special holiday edition, I got some more than one question from each person. So since it's been so long, if you had a couple questions, most likely I answered more than one. Because I have my regulars on here, like my subscribers, and then I have some people out of nowhere. Some are not subscribers. Some are on Twitter. Some are on Google+. Some are on my YouTube subscribers. So it's a little bit of both. Okay, let's get into this, as we have a decent amount. I usually use my iPad, but I was too lazy, so I just printed these. If you could pick one Xbox One or PS4 or Wii U, and why? Macy Mason 28. We got two questions, it looks like, from her. That's an extremely hard question because, and I always dread this question, and believe me, it comes up almost every day. And I picked these questions too that I thought would be challenging for me instead of something easy. And this is extremely difficult for me because everybody that follows me knows that I'm a real gamer. It's rare these days, I know. I'm not a console war person. I have every system since the Atari. I bought every next generation system. You see it here on my channel. You see it covered. You've seen the unboxings. You've seen me extremely pumped for each system. I have them all. And to me, it's my theory is that it's good. It's healthier and good for the consumer, and it's good for the platform, meaning the whole video game genre. It makes it stronger. Everybody has to compete with each other. It makes everybody stay on top of their toes. You get more games that way. I could say, well, your PlayStation 4 is awesome, but can you play Mario Kart on it? Your Xbox One is awesome, but can you play Uncharted on it when it comes out? Or can you play Killzone? Or on your PS4, can you play Forza? You need them. My personal opinion, if you're a real gamer and you want to explore every bit of software that you possibly can, you got to have every one. I've always seen video game systems that way. I've always loved the competition. I always loved how they go after each other. I think it's healthy for the video game industry, and I think it makes everybody push harder. So this is extremely hard for me. I would never really do this in real life. I mean, I love them all equally. I really do. But she asks, so based on what's out now, believe it or not, I would say, you know what? I'm going to say the Wii U because I love Nintendo. I absolutely love Nintendo. Quality over quantity. What is out there is top notch. I mean, look at Super Mario 3D World. Look at the Wind Waker HD, Pikmin 3. I absolutely am a nut for Nintendo, and those are my classic childhood genres and franchises. So yeah, I love the Wii U. I really do. And I love the Xbox One and PS4 also. My God, I give love to the Ouya. And the Game Stick. A lot of great portables out there too. Um, if you in Mason 28, if you could travel to any country, what would it be? Probably Italy or Ireland, one of them, because both my heritage. I'm half and half, men's and men's. I'm Italian and Irish. Hey. Do you teach Photoshop outside of YouTube? Stephanie Brooks. No, I do not. When I was in college, the last few years, when I went back for refresher courses, I helped a lot of the professors out with the class, and we had a lab, after college lab, that we could stay on the computers and work on projects, and I used to stick around and basically help people with software. Not just Photoshop, because I'm Adobe certified, all different kinds of programs, but mostly Photoshop. Favorite system to collect for? Todd T. That's a real extremely hard one. I mean, I love collecting for portables. I love collecting for the older systems, especially the Atari. But if I have to pick one, I would say the GameCube. I don't know why, and you would understand that if you've seen my gaming collection, because I probably have a couple hundred GameCube games, and I'm always adding to it. I don't know. I actually loved the GameCube when it came out. I love it today, and it is fun to go out there and search for whatever you're missing in the collection. So I'm always looking for GameCube games. So that's one of my favorite systems to collect for. But there's definitely a couple close ones, though. The PlayStation 2 is great to collect for, and the Atari 2600, I think, is the most fun to collect for. But if I have to pick one, I'd say the GameCube. Systems you don't have that you want. I love the channel. Keep it up. Lorraine Stevens. That's a great question. Because believe it or not, in Mary and J. Waite's collection, there's a few, that I haven't got around to yet. There's a lot of different versions of of systems that I have, imported, versions or Japanese versions or stuff like that. I don't have a Magnavox Odyssey. I want to get one of those. I don't have a Nomad, that portable thing with the screen that plays the Sega Genesis games. I don't have one of those. I'm looking to add one of those to my collection. Who knows, maybe 2014 will be the year of retro again. It was hard this year with all these new systems is trying to stay current. I did, I did a lot of retro shopping, but not as much as I wish I would have. I did more modern this year, so I got to go back to that. I don't have that Micro Mini, the Game Boy, the little Micro Game Boy. I don't have one of those. I'd like to get one of those. And a Neo Geo Pocket, a color. I'd like to get one of those. I don't have one of those yet in the collection. Good question. What was your favorite cartoon growing up as a kid? Goose Tex. Goose Tex. Goose Tex Fighter. Interesting name. Well, there's a lot, but I'll pick one. He-Man. I was a huge He-Man. I had everything He-Man in my room. I had a He-Man tent that I actually used to connect to my bed, and I could sleep in it. It had a little zipper door. I had He-Man pillows, He-Man curtains. I had the He-Man action figures. I had the everything. Lunch pail. I was into Ghostbusters. Then later on, I was into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was always into wrestling. I loved wrestling, but other than that, as far as cartoons, those were the things that I was mostly into. Mostly, and as I got older, I got into different cartoons, but mostly He-Man and Ghostbusters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, definitely. What were you into growing up? Carl Becker 85, pretty much what I just said. You know, all those TV shows and cartoons. Um, you know, when I was real little, I was into Fraggle Rock. um, video games, wrestling. That was really it. You know, even photography back then when I was a kid. I was interested in it. I was always taking pictures with something. Mostly wrestling. You know, I did a lot of action figure collecting. I still do. I still was a big collector. I was into all that. I was into going out and finding things. So, you know, I loved movies. I loved going out to the movies. Various different things, you know. I was into fishing, hiking, a lot of the normal stuff. But I was definitely into wrestling, and I was definitely into a lot of the earlier cartoons when I was growing up. So, and of course, video games. Really, about 80-90% of it. Did you ever go to a Giants game? P.S. You are my favorite YouTuber, Carl Becker 85. Yes, I did. About, what was it, 2 seasons ago, I went to East Rutherford, Giant Stadium, and I seen them play the Seahawks, and they lost. Bastard Eli Manning threw an interception. It was horrific, actually. I got to meet a lot of the players, too, and I actually got a lot of stuff signed. I was actually right above them when they were coming out of the tunnel with the smoke. It was very, very cool. What is your take on... I knew this was going to come up. What is your take on the new Content ID matches on YouTube? What should be done about it? Mark Lazghini. Well, you must be following the channel because you know I made a video about that as soon as it happened. I was one of the early YouTubers that actually talked about it. I mean, when it happened, but I actually talked about it also months ago that I said it was coming. A lot of people argued and said I was making a big deal out of it, and that they said that it's already happening and there's nothing going to change. You know, what are you yelling and screaming about? And I know a lot of these real big YouTubers made like 2-3 minute videos about it. They're getting thousands of views. There's also YouTubers I noticed that I didn't expect that are taking advantage of this and putting out an update video every day. I mean, I feel sorry for them when it blows over and they run out of things to make views on. I think you know, 1 or 2 okay, but I think they're going a little crazy now. I made one, plain and simple. It sucks, okay? I'm gonna sum it up now. Yes, there's things you can do. There's things that you can be smart and say. I said about it in my video. There's ways to talk about being disputed, the whole fair use law, what you're entitled to do as a commentator, as a game player, how these music companies, you know, are bombarding. It's not all the developers. I've actually talked to developers on Twitter. I've talked to some of the biggest YouTubers on Twitter. I've had conversations with them. Those of you that follow me on Twitter can see that I'm talking with them. We were discussing things when I made my update video. These big YouTubers all had podcasts that I tried to get into, but I didn't. But I did talk to them on Twitter, and I made my name out there, and I discussed these issues. And yes, they're very serious issues. And all I could say is you know, this was bound to happen. It's not the end of the world. It's not as crazy as people are saying it. Oh my God, it's the end. It's not. You have a voice. You can dispute it. A lot of these, you know, a lot of these developers don't even know what's going on. It's this new algorithm that YouTube uses that I've got Content ID matches that had made no sense, that had nothing to do with the video. So you just gotta know your ground. You gotta know what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do, and you gotta dispute them. And you got to, you know. You got to respond to them. I had to click on hundreds and hundreds of videos, and a lot of them got cleared up. So I've been noticing it is getting better. I've been getting less and less. It was bad there for the first few days when that was going real big. When it went viral, it was huge. You know, it is what it is. It's what us YouTubers have to understand. A lot of what these YouTubers don't understand is that, yes, we're being monetized. A lot of us are being paid, you know, but nobody has a gun to Google's head and YouTube that says we have to. It's our choice. You know what I mean? I feel sorry for there are people out there that do this full time, and that sucks for them. I mean, I'm only doing this as a hobby. I do photography and graphic design. And I've been doing this way before monetization. I was one of the earlier ones out there, even though I wasn't huge. I mean, Murray NJ08, the name says it all. I even had a channel in '06 that got taken down. So, yeah, it stinks. But there are things that you can do about it. Watch my video. And there's a lot of information, and a lot of these big YouTubers some of them do have decent and good information about it. Some are just trying to make views off of it, but some really do have some information on it. You should really check it out. Games you would like to hear about at the next E3. Mark Lisgini. There's so many that haven't been announced. Well, Uncharted 4 was hinted. I would like to hear more about that. I would like to hear maybe about the next Elder Scrolls, not online, the actual next Elder Scrolls on next gen. I hope they talk about an actual brand all new Zelda for the Wii U. I would like to hear about that. Maybe a new Gears of War. I would like to hear about the next God of War. I would like to hopefully one day hear about Fallout 4. I know they've been saying, that they've been finding these hints from Bethesda that they're not going to be announcing it anytime soon. There's a lot of games I'd like to hear about at E3. I think this E3 is going to be humongous because now that the new systems are out and the developers know about these systems and have been working with them, I think we're going to hear about some great releases, even with the Wii U. I think that everybody's got to go all out this year. The hardware's out. Now let's see what the software can do. 5 games you are most anticipating for next year. I'm sorry. Left 4 Dead, 1987. Watch Dogs. Destiny. Tom Clancy's The Division. Mario Kart and Super Smash Brothers. Did you ever go to a gaming convention? I ask because you always have great information and coverage on your channel. Keep up the awesome work. Keep up the awesome work, Sean. Tammy Gamer Girl 85. I have not. I would love to though. I would love to go to like a E3 or PAX or one of those games. One of those conventions. Mostly E3. I would love to go to. SCG. Yeah, I would definitely love to go one day. It would be very cool to check out and interview some people. That would be kind of neat. Check out what goes on over there behind the scenes that you don't see on like IGN or YouTube. Advantages and disadvantages of shooting RAW and JPEG. Good question. I like to get photography questions. Linda Callie. That's a really in-depth question. I might have to make a video about that on YouTube, actually on Photoshop, maybe my next episode or in the future. Actually go over in detail, but I'll sum it up for you. An advantage to shooting JPEG is that they're smaller files, so you could fit more on your camera card. So a disadvantage of shooting RAW would be they are large files. You do need a decent sized camera card. It's a lot of more strain on the camera, especially when you're shooting in buffer, you're shooting a lot of images at once. RAW can really bog down the camera. So those are 2 disadvantages, file size and that. The other disadvantage of shooting JPEG is that, which is an advantage of RAW, you lose a lot of quality in JPEGs. A lot is lost. A lot in your highlights, a lot in your details, your shadows, that you can actually bring back in RAW, which is why I like shooting weddings in RAW. You could use those in Photoshop. You have camera raw. You could really start messing with those sliders as far as clarity, as far as recovery. You can bring back a lot of lost information in a raw image that you can't get back in a JPEG image. So they're both good and they're both bad. I think as far as raw, I think the good outweighs the bad. I love raw. Camera cards have come down in price so dramatically that you can get a really decent card at a decent price. So, Yeah, you got to do a lot of post-processing afterwards. It's not just run and gun it and you're done. You got to work on the raw image. You got to, you can mess with the temperature, the white balance, like I said, the clarity. Raw is really good if you work with it. But, JPEG is good if you're just in a fast pinch and you got to send out a bunch of emails and you don't want to work on nothing shorter, smaller files. Boom, JPEG. So, yeah, both disadvantages and advantages of both file types. What big Nintendo announcement would you like to hear? Max Takeover, Rover 86, Zelda, the new Zelda. I'd like to hear a lot more about that. That's what I would like to hear about. I know they've been saying that it's possible that Majora's Mask might get remastered like the Wind Waker did. That would be cool too, but I would like to hear about a brand new Zelda for the Wii U. Room tour soon. Baba 1984. Yes, not this year, but next year definitely there will be a room tour. Yep, it's coming. Complete strategy guide collection video. Tim Burns, that is coming also. Whew, I get asked that almost every day. I got a couple hundred. I got a massive collection. I got a lot more coming. Actually, going to be seeing reviews and unboxings this week on Mary and J. Wait. I'm a fanatic with strategy guides. I really am, old and new. That's going to take me some time to actually. It's probably going to be more than one part, I'm sure. Yeah, that's definitely coming in the future. You will see it. Working on that. With the new generation of systems out, have you downloaded more digital games than you thought you would? The Walking Dead, 1981. Yeah, yep, absolutely. I did. I thought I was only going to download a few, mostly free, and I wound up buying a lot of them, a decent amount. Yep. I mean, now, these new systems are really pushing indie now, and I love indie games, especially like all this great stuff that's already out and the stuff that's coming out. So, yeah, I definitely downloaded a lot more than I thought I was going to on launch. Yep. Do you like Windows 8.1? Is it a big improvement from 8? Crammy Conklin. I do like 8.1. 8 had problems. 8.1 still has certain problems, but as far as an improvement, did it get better? Yes, it did. I actually enjoy 8.1 a lot more, especially on my Surface, especially on my Dell, my desktop, my laptops, everything. 8.1, I haven't really had any problems with it. It's running pretty smooth. And a lot of little nitpicks and whatnot that I had with 8, I see fixed in 8.1. So is it worth if you're asking, is it worth the upgrade? Yeah, it is. I actually got it for free because I already had 8. So it is a free upgrade. Can't go wrong. What game did you enjoy most from Xbox One and most from PS4, Crammy Conklin? Xbox One, I probably would have to say it's a tie between Forza 5 and Killer Instinct. And on the PS4, I would have to probably say Knack or Resogun. Plans for the holidays. Will you be doing any gaming? Thanks. Love the channel. Tim Burns. Yeah. Pretty much staying home with the family and friends. Messing around with some new games. Messing around with some new tech. We'll definitely be doing a lot of video gaming on the holiday. Yes. Do you think it will be a good year for Nintendo and the Wii U next year? Major games announced. Max a trillion. 2250. Yeah, I've talked about this in the past, but I'll sum it up real quick. I hope it's a good year for Nintendo. They need a good year as far as the Wii U. The 3DS has been doing phenomenal. I'm not worried about that. Yeah, I think it'll be a good year for the Wii U. I think a lot of, like I said, E3. I think they're going to announce a lot at E3. They really have to. No Nintendo Direct baloney. They need to have a stage show, and they need to go all out and talk about the system that we have, and really talk about the games that are coming out for it, and show the games also, and mostly have some of them playable. So that is it. That is my edition, my holiday edition of Questions for the Goof. It was a long episode. I enjoyed it though. So right now, From now on, starting from scratch, I will be collecting the next set of questions from you guys. I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks for tuning into the channel. Thanks for subscribing. Take care. Spread the word. And I will see you on the next episode of Questions for the Goof. And also, happy holidays, everybody. And Happy New Year. Bye-bye now.